David Pakman, what the fuck?
I don't get what everybody's all worked up about. I like NFTs. Nice fat tushies.
This is an NFT.
But like, what is it?
What do you not understand about it?
Everything.
It's a simple,
Fat
you know, the
tushies.
technology involving cryptocurrency.
What does NFTs even stand for?
You're 24.
Yeah.
You can use Google and you can Google it.
It says non-fundable
token.
Fungible?
It's wrong.
Are you sure?
It's very clearly a non-fungible token. I mean, what do you understand about that?
Out of nowhere, just calls me
dick,
and he's
dude.
like, "Yo, I got like
Break
30."
up with your fucking boyfriend, okay, girl? Because you deserve better. I'll make you happy, girl. Don't you worry about it. Leave him. I don't have money, but I will never make you feel as stupid as that man made you feel. Hopefully. You recognize what he was doing. This is going to make me more sad. Oh no, Brittany, no, I don't want that to happen, but I also would like to learn more about NFTs because I do not know anything about them, and I would like Cav to teach me personally. Sorry. No nice fat tushies for him. Yeah, dude, you do not deserve a nice fat tushy at all. I hope your girl A has a really nice fat tushy, and B, she walks her fine ass tushy out of your fucking life because you don't deserve her, bitch. Okay? Fuck you for treating her like that on the internet in front of people. Fucking asshole. Anyway.
People to call hop in. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
So there's like all these like very successful people in this call, and Gary's just like, here's what you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it right now. You're all gonna buy a bunch of CryptoPunks.
CryptoPunks. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the next Facebook. We're like, okay,
Everyone's
Gary.
judging. I'm texting Logan.
He's
I'm
like,
like,
is this-
Gary
is
lost
this
his mind.
legit?
Can you use fungible?
Some tokens are fungible. This one is not.
Can you put fungible in a sentence?
I honestly don't understand. Is this an attack on me?
Yes.
Stop! Don't punch the wall. I don't think you should spend 40K on a picture of a monkey.
I've already made a lot of videos about why crypto bros are so
Fucking
annoying
toxic.
and just so very delusional. The thought that this unregulated currency will somehow save the whole world, like how Jack Dorsey and like Lex Fridman believe, is absolutely like crazy, especially in regard to what is happening right now in El Salvador. And anyone could tell you making Bitcoin as legal tender was an awful idea, especially in a country where a lot of people don't have access to the internet. But buying goods and necessities based on a currency that wildly fluctuates so often was never going to bring stability to any country, especially one.
I'm eating lemon flavored wafers. They're fucking amazing. Were those two not doing a bit? I suspect they were. Maybe they were. I don't really know. I don't understand crypto boys. I don't know how they act or operate. I just assume that this is how they would act and operate. Also, if you do not know what Cav is talking about, El Salvador, was it El Salvador? I guess so. El Salvador became the first country to recognize cryptocurrency as a legal tender that is a currency accepted and backed by their government. It is highly speculative and not real. It is less real than the US dollar, and we know how speculative the US dollar is, but it'll be used as leverage to build more parts of El Salvador. It'll be used as a financing vehicle for development in some of the more urban areas. It's going to be a disaster. In part because even if it's a recognizable tender, that does not mean that it'll be an accepted form of currency that can be used as leverage. Like as the US dollar is used as leverage for for an asset-backed security, right? With an asset-backed security, you can liquidate from whatever ownership or investment you have made in your assets. I don't necessarily know if this 100% has a one-to-one transfer in cryptocurrency. I'm going to go so far to say that it does not. But again, I don't know. Maybe this is the new future and we need to get used to it. NFTs nuts. Thank you, Birdie, for the comic relief. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know some crypto dudes, and they mostly treat it like a get-rich-quick scheme. Also, we talked about this yesterday. The likelihood that NFTs are kind of used as a new form of social currency, where it's like determining like the who's who in the crypto world. So it's highly exclusive. It's supposed to be very hard to get your hands on, but it's also meant to serve as a metaphor for one's social status or like economic standing. And again, that's just like weird ass fucking dystopian rich shit bullshit. It's Herbalife for techies. So yeah, it's like a pyramid scheme. It is just like a very expensive pyramid scheme. It's worse than Herbalife. But like it's all the rage. I mean, think about this. These techno bros, like maybe they are trying to find meaning in their life. They've gotten so much investor capital. They're swimming in it, and they're trying to find a way to take advantage of the wealth and the capital that they have accumulated, and they're trying to create some new thing. People are suckers. They will literally buy into so much bullshit. And the worst part is that they might be doing so because they're fallen on hard times. They've fallen on hard times. They are suffering. And they're thinking that maybe if I get in on this get rich quick scheme, I might be the one who lucks out. Never the case though. So unlikely the case. You're going to be the one holding the bag though, because you're not going to know when to make last minute transaction. You don't have insider trading information. It's very similar to hedge fund managers who know when to sell, when to short, when to buy. You're not privy to this information. They are using your contribution because when a lot of people just make small dollar contributions or whatever the fuck would be the equivalent to $1 in this case, you are adding to the pile, the reserves, the pool. But then you never know when it's a good time to, you know, hedge your bets or whatever the equivalent to hedging your bets would be. It's not designed for you to win. There's like a 1 in a million chance that you will, but unfortunately you might be banking on that because you're up against the wall and who knows, like maybe you will be the lucky one. But again, most likely not the case.
That historically was unstable, and until it brought in the US dollar as their currency about 20 years ago, all that stuff is just ruined now. So Bitcoin bros are delusional, but NFTs are even more of like a transparent scam.
Also the colossal amount of stolen art. Oh, yeah, true.
I do not see any value in whatsoever, unless you want to really get into pyramid schemes or just general scamming people out of money. Then maybe they're a good idea. But again, just like with the crypto stuff, there is like this cult mentality around NFT art specifically, and you've all seen those terrible pictures of like chimps and gorillas and stuff that literally do look like knockoff art from the band Gorillaz, and people selling them for like, I don't know, 100k or saying they're worth a certain amount. But obviously to a lot of people like me, there is no value to these things. They both look awful and you don't even own them because, of course, like the meme says, just right click them, just save the image and you've got it too. So in today's video, we're just going to be looking at loads of crypto NFT bros taking their L's, talk about why it's so bad for the environment, why it is pretty much a scam, and just how ridiculous it is. But before we go any further, I usually like plug my social medias and stuff, but I'm still having like severe issues with YouTube monetization. That video on Friday I made about politics and video games, yep, automatically demonetized. They're still reviewing it right now, so it's not decided if it will be monetized ever. That one about Moist Critical Mr. Beast a couple weeks back, randomly demonetized out of nowhere. These videos really do not break any rules, but YouTube must have had some update to their algorithm.
Do you think it gets monetized if there's enough people who complain about it? Because we know that Mr. Beast has a huge following. And they don't like whenever you say mean things about Mr. Beast. That was made abundantly clear because I ended up in the comment section of somebody just, you know, pointing out something that was fairly, I don't know, I didn't even think that it was that, I didn't think it was that toxic of a comment. It will be interesting to see if suicides go up if the prices drop. Oh. Oh. Mass reporting is effective. Okay, there we go. So, there you go, Cap. I found out your answer. You have pissed off Mr. Beast cults. They are effective. The thing is Real Estate K3, what ends up happening is the rich fucks make a lot of money off of the poor people who buy into the scam. So, it's really not designed in favor to be able to take money from the rich. I can make more money than enough money to... I can make more than enough money to live on by actually drawing unique art for people without any blockchains involved, but the people who commission artists aren't the same people who are into NFTs. It's almost as if the art isn't as valued as the exclusivity of the blockchain, or like the accessibility to the blockchain. People buying NFTs are doing it with the assumption that the value will go up. And again, like, imagine that, because it's based on like what? It's probably based on some sort of scarcity, right? Or it's like the scarcity from exclusivity, but also like it's not even like trying to make good art in the process. It's like, yeah, and let's say it is money laundering. It's a money laundering scheme. It's almost as if they're adding insult to injury. Like, hey, you really know what's going on, and we're not even bothered to make good art. We're just going to have the shitty, fucking, weird-ass, comic-looking monkey that looks like 1970s, like, acid trip. It's like it's like the Big Lebowski's acid flashback from the 1970s. Just like on 2D, plastered all over the place. Well, not all over the place, because it's only available for those who have the monies to afford it. If someone wants to have exclusive rights to a piece of art, you can do that. You're like, hey, I want to take your art. I would like to buy your art, please. I would like one art, please. Someone sold one for $69 million. Anything for the memes. Where's our NFTs, Lebowski? Shit.
Or they've just got it out for me. So based on 4 videos in a row being demonetized,
This sold for $69 million? It's a collage of a bunch of images drawn by an artist. 5 years worth of artwork, super high resolution. Okay, y'all know that you can like take all of these pixels and actually try to put together a... You can like... This technique is used often. Where like, if you want to get creative, you want to use a color palette and actually create an image using the pixelation from your smaller like images. You can do that. You can do that. Is this just like going in chronological order, or are we supposed to look for something? Is this like an optical illusion? What is it? Is this like look closely and the first 3 words that you find is going to be how you'll spin 2022? Hey, what the fuck? Hope you don't mind me informally polling chat. What do you mean informally polling?
Based on Friday's one being demonetized, where I don't even understand what I did wrong, I'm guessing this one will also be demonetized for a bizarre reason, unless I review it before I upload it. So to help me sustain doing YouTube full time, if you like my work, please consider becoming a patron. Like I always say, I'm trying to build up as many smaller patrons as possible, $1 to $3, and the benefits of that are you get a link to the private Discord for patrons, you get my Nintendo Switch friend code, and this month I think I'm also going to add for everyone that you can add me on PlayStation Network as well. And as you guys have been seeing lately, I've been streaming a lot of games, so it's good to have me added so you can easily play on the live streams with me. But also, the gaming streams are open to anyone when I am playing them. So just quickly, let's get into it. What are NFTs by the BBC? These are for those of you who might not really know what this is. So what is a non-fungible token? In economics, a fungible asset is something with units that can be readily interchanged like money. With money, you can swap a £10 note for 2 £5 notes and it will have the same value. However, if something is non-fungible, this is impossible. It means it has unique properties, so it can be interchanged with something else. It could be a house or a painting, such as the Mona Lisa, which is one of a kind. You can take a photo of the painting or buy a print, but there will only be one original painting. NFTs are one-of-a-kind assets in the digital world that can be bought and sold like any other piece of property, but which have no tangible form of their own. The digital tokens can be thought of as certificates or ownership for virtual or physical assets. So as with cryptocurrency, a record of who owns what is stored on a shared ledger known as the blockchain. The records cannot be forged because the ledger is maintained by thousands of computers around the world. NFTs can also contain smart contracts that may give the artist, for example, a cut of any future sale of the token. So funnily enough, one of my favorite bands, Kings of Leon, were actually in the news because I believe they were like the first band to release their new album, which is actually really good, as an NFT. So everyone was like memeing about them, but it's really taken off since about like March this year, and now of course it's really dominated by really awful art. Although there are many uses for NFTs, it seems to be dominated by crypto punks, that pump and dump that seems to be promoted by Mr. Beast and Gary Vee, and the stupid ape art. Now straight away people were already pointing it out to be a pyramid scheme, so there's a good article by Andy Day on March 18th, 2021. I just want to read it out quick. So NFTs are a pyramid scheme and people are already losing money. Whichever platform you choose, you won't be able to ignore the fact that a lot of people seem to be selling a lot of questionable digital art for ludicrous amounts of money. That's a very strong nudge for you to get involved. Incentivization is such a feature of these platforms that many of the artworks being minted and traded reflect it in the aesthetic. Pieces involving the letters FOMO proliferate in a self-referential sea of urgency to buy, sell, and to be sold. This sense that you're not on board with the beginnings of something big underpins the entire NFT experience, and it's a marketing masterstroke. Almost every tweet telling you about an auction that you should get involved in will remind you that artwork will only be available for a brief window. The FOMO is so powerful you probably feel like you're already losing money by not having signed up yet. To many, it's a means of overthrowing the existing regime. When you look a little closer, you realize that it's just an extreme manifestation of neoliberalism. Instead of convincing you to buy stuff that you don't need, they're convincing you to buy imaginary optimism based on a mass enchantment. In addition, as a generation, we have the fervent belief that every single one of us is special and that therefore our creativity must have innate value. NFTs are our chance to sell it. I'm not sure anything can be more meta than the simulated ownership of a digital copy of an artwork that describes itself as a tribute to a historical moment of a movement. It's also conveniently ignoring that these platforms are owned by millionaires such as the Winklevoss twins, famously sued Mark Zuckerberg for stealing their idea for Facebook. On the surface, the NFT marketplace is made to look like everyone is making money, and while crypto might be rewriting the rules of economics, there is one dictum it cannot escape. For someone to make money, another has to lose money. NFTs do not magically generate wealth from nowhere. They're taking it from those buying into the idea that everyone who's getting in early is making a killing. As David Gerard, author of Attack of the 50-Foot Blockchain, explains, NFTs are entirely for the benefit of the crypto grifters. The only purpose that artists serve is aspiring suckers.
Also, like, it's pushed by influencers. It's pushed by influencers. So, like, obviously, no different than like any other multi-level marketing scheme. Like, you get some like really big people on the interwebs and like you get them to co-sign on this idea, and then maybe there's like a free giveaway program or something like that, something to that effect. NFTs wouldn't be shit if like content creators like Mr. Beast weren't pushing them. The big crypto short, maybe, yeah. But again, you're not privy to any of this insider information. You don't know, like, when to make transactional changes. They are literally just inflating the reserve or the total return value or whatever the fuck it even is, if it's comparable to, like, real money. They're just collecting as much of those, like, tokens as possible and then finding a way to win big or capitalize. In the same way that, you know, hedge fund managers operate on Wall Street. Are they just describing the entire stock market, though? Yeah, but, like, how... we know that it's seemingly just as lucrative, but, like... Okay, we got the non-fungible, but let's talk about the tangibility here. Like... in terms of, like, liquidity, like, how do you cash out? How do you cash out on your NFT? You sell when it'll benefit you and leave someone else to hold the bag. But what do you... NFTs are just tied to various forms of crypto, like Bitcoin and Doge. Yeah. I get that. If I had 20K, I'd pay off medical bills. Yeah, I'd definitely pay off my student debt. That'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't, you know, it might be nice to have like 20 grand like hanging out, get my teeth fixed. Like 20K, sure. Must be nice. Y'all gonna regret this when Doge goes straight to the moon. Simtaddy, what makes you think that you won't even need teeth after you're rich? Yeah, because everyone knows that, like, after you reach a certain point, you just don't need teeth anymore. What do you mean? Honestly, I think a lot of celebrities go for the implants, right? And maybe they just do remove all of their teeth and get implants, but I don't know.
Pump the concept of crypto and of course to buy cryptocurrency to pay for minting NFTs. Eventually this pumping will tail off as the number of people willing to keep plowing money into Ethereum and NFTs will begin to ease. Given this system relies on constant growth, it seems a safe bet that the value of these rare items might start to fall, and those countless investors who spent thousands of dollars on low-res pictures of a puppy might want to get their money out before it collapses completely. Otherwise, what are you going to do with that puppy? Print it and hang it above the toilet? So crypto bros often say NFTs are no different than the traditional art market, and that is true. Apart from the art on the art market is normally like better standard and also means something to the person like buying them. Like they say in the article, you have the Mona Lisa, you have numerous artworks from great artists. Even if you don't sell that art, you might pay a certain amount because you want to own it in the first place. Like a lot of rich people do, of course, buy art just to increase its value. A lot of rich people also just buy stuff because they like it or they want to show it off. No one wants to show off an awful picture of a stupid ape or one of those CryptoPunk like pixelated figures that look like they're from, I don't know, Hotline Miami or something. And like I said, what are you going to do if this decreases in value? You're going to print it out? You're going to do something with it? Of course you're not. Your only interest in it is trying to make money off it. No one who buys NFTs pretty much cares about what they are actually buying or likes what it looks like broadly. It's just what they think will make the most money. And also it goes without saying, some people who actually try and sell their art as legit NFTs often get their art stolen and other people mint them and make them into their own NFTs, which they sell. And because this is like an unregulated market, what can you do about that? You can't do anything. The monetary authorities have not cracked down on crypto yet. I suspect one day they are going to, because it's just so rife with money laundering and scams. And while people like Lex Fridman and Jack Dorsey will say like it makes everyone equal, in reality, just like the real economy, the crypto and NFT market are manipulated by a small amount of libertarian millionaires and billionaires. Like I was talking about earlier, think of that Mr. Beast thing that I showed you in my video about him and NFTs and crypto and stuff, in that he talks about Gary Vee calling him up with a bunch of other really wealthy influencers and saying, all of you buy CryptoPunks right now.
Out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like,
yeah, so I dye my hair purple and it's like turning red.
yo, I got like 30 people to call, hop in. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in. That's like, okay.
Yeah.
So there's like all these like very successful people in this call. And Gary's just like, here's what you're going to do, and you're going to do it right now. You're all going to buy a bunch of CryptoPunks.
CryptoPunks. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the next Facebook where all of us were like, okay,
Everyone's
Gary.
judging. I'm texting Logan, and I'm like,
is
Gary lost
this
his mind.
legit? Bro, all of us are like, yo, Gary's nuts. Yo, Gary was right again.
Like 8 of them, and they did pretty good.
And any zingers? Any like real special ones?
I had some that like whatever 20, 30 X.
You guys, a question: when Gary does that call with all these billionaires, and 8 months or a year later, everybody's like, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's right because of the call? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think about that a
Like,
lot.
dude, he has all these
I think about
billionaire
that a
market
lot.
makers in the thing.
I think about
He
that a
makes
lot.
the call, makes the market.
Of course, the goal of that was to drastically inflate the value so these guys can then sell it for loads, and then people will care about CryptoPunks less and less once the people who are famous and own them don't own them anymore. So it's basically like a pump and dump scam. You're pumping the value for your friends and you to make loads of money, then you dump it because you know it's not actually worth anything. This is why you saw so many YouTubers get into really shady territory with all these crypto things they were promoting, where a random company would talk to them and be like, promote this random coin. They would promote it, getting paid in the coin. Then the coin's value would skyrocket. Then they would sell it, and then the price would come drastically down. But I just want to talk about a few more negatives that someone posted on Reddit. I've gone over a couple of them, but just to keep these in mind before we start looking at crypto bros taking their L's. So on Out of the Loop, in response to what's up with the NFT hate, Noah Dies Slowly talked about a number of reasons. We've gone over a lot of them. The server where the NFT art is hosted goes down, your art is gone. NFT minters are often art thieves, minting others' work and trying to spin a profit. The anonymous nature of NFTs makes it hard to crack down on, and moderation is poor in NFT communities. Most huge sales are actually the seller selling it to themselves under a different wallet to try to grift others into thinking that the token is worth more than it is. Wallet IDs are not tied to names and therefore are anonymous enough to encourage drumming up fake hype. It's a haven for money laundering because crypto is largely unregulated and anonymous. Gamers are angry because game publishers love the ideas of using NFTs as a way to squeeze more money out of microtransactions. Buying a digital hat for your character is only worth anything because of artificial scarcity and bragging rights. NFTs bolster both of these. Computation cost of minting NFTs is very energy intensive, and until our power grids are run with renewables, this means we're burning more coal, more fossil fuels, so that more grifters can grift artists and investors. So like I was saying in my Mr. Beast Moist Critical video, Mr. Beast doing like token charity work, talking about the environment, cleaning up the oceans and stuff like that is all well and good. But if you're promoting NFTs and crypto, which have a really bad effect on the environment because they use so much energy and electricity developed from fossil fuels, then you don't really care about the environment. And like I've always said, I believe he's just doing it for his own image and to boost his brand, which in turn makes him more money eventually. So one of the more popular Twitter pages I'm following right at the moment, who unironically said Mr. Beast does loads of good for the world, which is very, very surprising for someone called Crypto Bros Taking L's. But I want to go through a couple of these posts because they're just fun to laugh at, but also just shows the delusional nature of this stuff. And then I want to move on to David Pakman actually promoting more NFT stuff on his own YouTube channel, and his audiences absolutely hating him for it. So at Coiners Taking L's, one of the first posts, Bored Ape NFT accidentally sells for 3,000 instead of 300,000. The owner of Bored Ape number 3,547 made a fat-fingered typing error when listing the item for sale online. The NFT was instantly snapped up by an automated account and put back on sale for nearly 250,000. Now I feel so bad for the guy who owned this awful picture of a monkey. So here's one. Seriously, it seems LinkedIn doesn't like NFT profile pictures. Did it happen to anyone else? I mean, it says it right there that LinkedIn requires profile to have an image of you. What exactly is wrong with that? Posts like these make the NFT community toxic and cringe, in my opinion. I actively choose my ape to connect with other like-minded people from the NFT community inside a business network to find possible collaborators, and it works perfectly. What's wrong with that? I love this one. I guess not one person in my family cares about NFTs, not one is interested in what I'm doing or cares to know what NFTs are. My grandpa literally came up to me and said I look like a hoodlum and that I won't be able to get a job at an office. Lame. So I don't know if it's the same account. Their monkey pictures look so similar. Really expected a ton of questions today about NFTs and the journey I've been on this past month, but nobody has even cared enough to ask. We are very early. Someone else, Matty at DCL Blogger. I dread the what do you do for a living question when I go out. NFTs are exhausting to explain. Someone said, just say mass marketing scammer or Ponzi scammer, really? And then he posted another one. When you spend $200 in traditional gaming, you lose $200. When you spend $200 in an NFT game, you get an NFT, which you can probably sell for $200 or more if the player base utility increases. Why would anyone oppose this? H-Bomber guy saying, spending $200 in a video game sucks, but what if the economy was based around it also? I'm finished using the horse armor in Oblivion. Would anyone like it? Bidding starts at £20,000 in a currency whose value creators of a tech billionaire makes the wrong tweet. When I spend money on a video game, I get the video game, not trying to make any money here. So speaking of how NFTs are ruining gaming, David Pakman made a video called It Really Seems NFTs Are Blowing Up, and it's a sponsored video about a new game using NFTs. Now, of course, David Pakman is like a liberal
back in my
YouTuber.
day,
Not to
okay, because
mention...
I'm 1,000 years old. Back in my day, there were fungible tokens. Little fucking cardboard, little cylinder things. They were literally called pogs, okay? You collected them, you traded them, you did something with them, I don't remember. You put them in a little, like, container, like a little tube. Super Sorcerers had Pogs. See, yeah, Pogs had no value. They were just cool to collect. No, they weren't. They weren't actually called fungible tokens. The artwork was better too, which isn't saying much. Yeah, they were just like collectible items. You just collected them. It was weird. You just stacked them. Hulk Hogan had Pogs. I don't know what was the purpose. I don't know if they had any. You slammed them with a big metal slammer Pog. Huh?
I'm really sorry. I kind of traded your soul to the guy at the comic book store. But look, I got some cool Pogs. Elf Pogs. Remember Elf? He's back. In Pog form.
The best part about Pogs is that people weren't selling them for millions. Apparently it was a game too. I had no idea. I had no idea it was a game. They flipped like the Squid Game envelope game. You know what? I didn't watch Squid Game, so I do not know what you were talking about. I remember what the Pogs looked like. Yeah. One of the first Pogs had a hammer and a sickle on it, and it was shiny. Really?
Definitely does not need this money because he has 1.41 million subscribers. He has memberships. I believe he also has a Patreon. He gets loads of views every single month. And by the looks of it at the moment, he doesn't have a lot of employees. He probably has a video editor. He used to have a co-host, but recently it seems like he's doing this mostly on his own. So I'm guessing his outgoing costs aren't suddenly going up and up and up, but he's promoting this thing and his audience are not happy. Here is one comment. Never thought I would unsub from a channel because of a sponsor, especially one I've been following for such a long time. I would really much rather see you sponsor Raid Shadow Legends than support anything to do with NFTs. I appreciate your commentary and news sometimes, but I can't in good conscience watch your videos if you're going to peddle this NFT nonsense. Outside of the little value NFTs bring, many have used them to peddle stolen art and they are terrible for the environment. All of this information can be found easily with one simple Google search. You are normally against things that accelerate climate change. It's hard to tell if you are just ignorant on this matter or if you know this and you were just swayed by whatever they paid you. David, this seems irresponsible. Are we really supposed to believe you don't understand how horrible NFTs are? It's gross economically and disgusting for the environment, and these are things you normally stand against, David. It's extremely disappointing to see you gladly supporting something so awful. I never thought I'd see you shilling for this pyramid scheme, David. I expect the full retraction and apology, or I may have to unsubscribe if this is the sort of thing you intend to promote. This is really disappointing and I'm sad to stop supporting David. David, this just instantly made me lose a bit of respect for you. How do we know you are being honest about politics when you are willing to lie for advertisers? You should be fighting against nonsense like this. Come on now. Got on sub after this. Can't support David promoting NFTs. It was a good run, David. Wow, this just shows us David will say anything for money. David actively contributing to an obvious pump and dump scam. If he's getting money from this, and he obviously doesn't need my Patreon anymore. Unsubbing for the same reason others are. Hopefully the numbers are enough to get you to be more selective about sponsors. David, sir, have you actually played this game? It seems you're a bit more disconnected from the product you're promoting. So people often ask me why I don't like David Pakman, and I made a whole video explaining my political reasons, but people just doing this stuff, it's just for greed. Like, he doesn't need this money. He doesn't need to take the sponsor. I'm sure there are sponsors lining up to be on his channel. Even I get message from sponsors. I would never take an NFT sponsors, no matter how much money they're offering me. And I would actually probably need that money as well. Because if you're a political person and you've made your reputation on YouTube as having certain politics, promoting stuff that hurts the environment just often shows that you don't really care about your political positions that much in the face of a large paycheck. Now, NFTs coming to video games is just so depressing. Like, I made a video a couple weeks back about how capitalism is ruining video games. And I got a lot of comments, people saying like, that's not capitalism, it's just greed and stuff like that. Like, what do you think capitalism is? Do you think an absolute profit motive doesn't incentivize
Is this Post
greed
Malone?
from for-profit capitalist corporations. I think Americans really need to understand
face
what
tats.
capitalism is. But anyway, thankfully, there's been a massive backlash
This is
to
Cav.
companies trying to introduce
Tabernacle.
NFTs. But it does seem some of the biggest are pretty committed to it. So
This is
Stalker 2
pre-Malone.
is the long-awaited.
Okay, that was funny.
Sequel to Stalker, and people were very, very excited about this game. I believe it's an Xbox exclusive as well. I'm not sure if Microsoft are putting money into it, but this whole
about to
thing
do
was
this meme
hilarious
again.
in that Stalker promoted NFTs, then they released a statement defending them promoting NFTs, and the backlash was so severe. About an hour later, they removed all these statements and came out and said they are not putting NFTs in their game. Danielle Partis at Game Industry Biz writes, Stalker 2 developer backtracks
Okay, well,
on
I
NFT
think this is
plans
kind of
following
good. Like, this is
criticism.
good.
Develop
If enough people are preemptively stepping up and saying, hey, you put these fucking NFTs in this game, I'm not going to play it. And I know people are like, oh god, this is what Zoomers do. They love to cancel for the sake of canceling. Well, no. If this is going to be a major vehicle to make crypto bros even richer, then do it. Apply the pressure. If it's the only way to get any semblance of justice in this godforsaken fucking world, then do it. Gamers will still find a way to blame women? Well, I guess that's a risk I'm willing to take. I mean, Kickstarter isn't listening to the backlash. Rising up, if you will. Kind of reminds me of Greek god X. I think everyone is pissed about the GPU prices, perhaps. Just adds to the fun of video games, a surprise mechanic.
GSC Game World has cancelled its plans to implement NFTs into the upcoming Stalker 2 game following backlash from fans over the move. On Wednesday, the company announced it would be auctioning off the rights to appear in the game as an NPC via a blockchain token. The winner of said auction would then have their name and appearance recreated in the game as a meta-human character. We hear you, GS Game World said in a statement shared to the game's official Twitter. Based on the feedback we've received, we've made a decision to cancel anything NFT related in Stalker 2. The interests of our fans and players are the top priority for the team. We're making this game for you to enjoy, whatever the cost is. If you care, we care too. GSC Game World shared an earlier statement, which has since been taken offline, doubling down on its stance and writing that NFT is new technology that the studio is eager to do right. And they also said, we are not asking for support, but at least we can hope you can hear us and understand our reasons. So mainly their reasons were economic. Ubisoft also was pushing NFTs, which didn't go well, but apparently despite the backlash, they are very committed. So Kotaku reporting, Ubisoft developers don't understand companies' NFT push either. Last week, Ubisoft revealed its new NFT tech platform called Quartz, and it didn't go well. The announcement that Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint would be the first game to implement cryptocurrency-backed items was downvoted on YouTube over 40,000 times, also unlisted the video. Now it turns out that many developers at the Assassin's Creed publisher have no idea what to make of their new NFT scheme. According to messages reviewed by Kotaku, a post announcing Quartz on Ubisoft's internal social media hub Manor quickly filled up with questions and concerns from developers across the company. Some didn't understand which old problems the new tech actually solved, while others were worried about receiving mandates to start integrating NFTs into their own games. I still don't really understand the problem being solved here, wrote one employee. Is it really worth the extremely negative publicity this will cause? How can you look at private property speculation, artificial scarcity and egoism and say, yes, this is good, I want that, let's put it in art?
I mean, because in many respects, this is what the art world is. Like, this is what the art world is. It's symbolic. It's symbolic, and it's typically a world that is designated for those with prestige. It's also very commonly used for money laundering. Like, it's just reimagining the world of art, like, in the 21st century, you know? It's like old money versus new money type deal. It's what capitalism has done to the art world. Yeah, these ain't no fucking Rembrandts, though. These dumbass looking monkeys.
Too kind. How's it going, guys? What should we do for our next giveaway? We're just chilling here at an airport. And
Why does he have a Hitler mustache? Why didn't somebody tell this fucking kid that you can't do that?
Hey, Twitter family. Just wanted to pop on and say hello. I'm sitting here with the main man. The man who gives away even more money than we do.
oh my gosh, you're too kind. How's it going, guys? What should we do for our next giveaway? We're just chilling here at an airport, and you know, we're trying to decide. You know?
Yeah. Do you guys have any ideas?
It's
Let
Charlie
us know
Chaplin
below.
stash.
Hey, Twitter family.
A WW1 stash? God damn it. I'm just gonna say a quick little prayer to Supply Side Jesus. Dear Supply Side Jesus, may we never part ways so that I look back in life and I have to apologize for the way that I treated Mr. Beast. That I never find myself running into money where I have a change of heart in how I see Mr. Beast. Please, Supply Side Jesus, if you see me, turn the fuck around and go the other way. Amen. I just wanted to get that off my chest. What does Supply Side Jesus mean?
Upsetting, wrote another person. Some developers also raise environmental concerns. We are far from fun, wrote the French union representing Ubisoft Paris, Solidaires Informatique, in a blog post today, blasting the new initiative. According to the union, Ubisoft leadership referenced the fact that Quentin Tarantino had recently hopped on the NFT bandwagon to bolster its case. Tarantino's NFTs, which are based on his 1994 movie Pulp Fiction, are currently mired in a legal dispute with the film's original distributor, Miramax. Yes, blockchain is a game changer, but only if used in the right way, with players at its core, will we collectively harness the true potential of its innovation. Nicolas Poard, VP of Ubisoft's Strategic Innovation Lab, wrote in an op-ed for VentureBeat earlier this month. So far, many of his colleagues don't seem to be buying it up. So think of everything I talked in my Capitalism is Ruining Video Games video, talking about the microtransactions, talking about the battle passes, talking about them taking away features from long-established franchises like Battlefield and Halo to force you into a boring grind, or for you to fork over money to save you time. Now think about all this cosmetic stuff also being tied to NFTs, which is also tied to cryptocurrency, this widely fluctuating form of money, which even ridiculous stuff like Elon Musk tweeting completely affects the cryptocurrency economy. And also I will say it just alienates players as well. Like, I don't want to be involved in cryptocurrency. If I want to do that, I can go and do that. There's plenty of avenues and very, very specific platforms for me to go trade and buy cryptocurrency. I don't want to do that. So I'm just playing video games like a random person. I don't want to see NFTs and crypto promotions in gaming when I'm trying to focus on like the story or getting better. Can you imagine this hell dystopia where NFTs have like infested Mario Kart or have infested Call of Duty, which we know they will. When Call of Duty is already a total mess with its battle pass system. I was saying to someone the other day, I absolutely hate the battle pass stuff because you got to pay money, which would usually cover the cost of DLC back in the day, only for the ability to unlock stuff, because then you've still got to do a boring ass grind to unlock all the stuff you paid for. Now throw NFTs into that hell mix and gaming is just never ever going to be good again. So I also want to talk about the ape stuff as well, this very specific form of NFT art, and how there is like this really weird cult like community around how great they are, and it's essentially becoming people's whole
coming, the war
identities. You
against
might have got a
NFT
sense of
spreads
that when I was
far.
reading out all those crypto bros taking their L's. Now, there's an article I was reading which is generally pretty positive about this stuff, but when I read some of it for you, you will see how ridiculous it is. So the Bored Apes take Manhattan. Members of Bored Ape Yacht Club, the internet's hottest NFT project, monkeyed around in real life at Ape Fest 2021. How long can the party last? Around 11 PM the night before Halloween, staff at the Bright Moments Art Gallery in downtown Manhattan hear what sounds like a pack of wild apes howling outside their window. Turns out that the commotion is caused by about 15 grown men who've just flown in from Las Vegas. They're hooting demands for wristbands that will get them into an exclusive yacht party the following evening. The soiree is being thrown, appropriately enough, by the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and the members who call themselves Apes are a determined lot. They return the next morning as early as 7 AM, forming a line that wraps around the Soho block in order to pick up their wristbands at the gallery. The yacht event is the big kickoff party for the week-long Ape Fest 2021, the first time BAYC members have gathered in real life in such large numbers. It's the highlight of the NFT NYC conference, which features speakers like Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian and entrepreneur Gary Vee, and draws more than 5,000 NFT fanatics to the city. And here's a picture of someone wearing their ape mask as well. The BAYC members eat bananas, seriously, and wear branded sweatshirts to show that they belong. Some are dressed in leather jackets or Hawaiian shirts that match their cartoon apes outfits, so fellow club members can recognize them in real life. Your insert Twitter handle? It's an enthusiastic refrain heard throughout the week. It's an exciting time to be an ape. Launched in April by 4 pseudonym 30-somethings, Gargamel, Gordon Goner, Emperor Tomato Ketchup, and No Sass. Through their company, Yuga Labs, BAYC is a collection of 10,000 unique digital Head and Shoulders drawings with a variety of traits. The floor price of a Bored Ape, which initially went on sale for about $250 each, has reached 6 figures. One rare ape sold at Sotheby's for more than $3.4 million last month. Wouldn't you love to buy a horrible cartoon of an ape for $3.4 million? Jimmy Fallon was promoting it. A lot of celebs do. Steph Curry, Little Baby, Jimmy Fallon and Post Malone all hold apes. Orsery, who manages Madonna and U2, signed a representation deal with Yuga Labs in October last week. Universal Music's new Web 3.0 label unveiled a Bored Ape act called Kingship. Now they're multi-millionaires who made it big, Rolling Stone recently infused, referring to the founders. What's more punk rock than that? What's more punk rock than using this insane new economy to sell people worthless stuff for millions of dollars? So I talked to people involved in this stuff, said later in the day, the 30-year-old named Daniel, who describes himself as old as hell and prefers I use his first name, says he wouldn't sell his single ape for less than like a full-blown house in Malibu.
How did all of this
How about
infiltrate
for a
popular
crypto
culture?
punk, asked a man
Easy.
nearby. Daniel
Easy
doesn't
peasy.
blink. I wouldn't sell it for a punk now, because Steph Curry is not a punk. Little Baby is not a punk. Today, the punks are for art world snobs. The apes are for the sneakerheads and music fans. The investment is not just in the artwork, but in a membership to a club. One skewing white, male, and young, and also really annoying. Grants access to the worlds that otherwise might seem unattainable. It's like an adrenaline rush to be where the culture is going. So you can see even there from the guy Daniel talking about why he wants an ape. It's FOMO. All these celebrities have it. So to him, he's both in this exclusive club, but he also feels like the value will continue to go up if all these celebrities keep promoting these really, really, really stupid apes. Now, a lot of people have argued with me and said the blockchain technology is actually really cool. It's just what humans are using it for is really dumb. And I think that's just like an indictment of our capitalist mindset, is that instead of using new technology for cool stuff, we're using it for ridiculous scams where
Yeah,
people
it's
are
almost
buying...
as if like new technology or technological advancement is not intended to be used for the purposes of utility or for an egalitarian application to advanced technology for everyone. You have to be able to pay for it because there's a lot more value to it whenever it's only exclusively offered to those who have the purchasing power. Which is really just probably going to cause people to become resentful of any new advanced technology, especially if it's used in a technocratic manner that like forces people to go without, or to be left out of incredibly important democratic processes, for example. Or if it continues to be used as a weapon, like, you know, for undue surveillance or what have you. maybe we will start seeing the opposite kind of side of this equation where we no longer get so excited about technology. I don't know if where that tipping point will be, because right now I think we're so fucking addicted to our phones, but look, if you can't buy an NFT, your status equals loser. Bring back the Luddites, please. I feel very strongly about this, where I really do not have any kind of interest. Like, I think that speaks to, like, just wanting to feel relevant and feel important. And they even admit it, that so many people just want to be special. So many people just want to feel like they fucking matter. And that really does drive a lot of this engagement and investment and participation. And that does speak to the way that capitalism has been formatted and the way that it's organized, where we're all kind of shuffling and competing with one another, all to try to get that like one slot, that one raise, that one promotion, that one position. It's really toxic and really detrimental to our health. But it also determines like who's who. And that's really helpful for those who like, you know, the social hierarchy, because A, they benefit from it, and B, it helps maneuver, you know, around to know like who's worth talking to. Because people are also kind of assholes. Oh, you're so-and-so? Hey, good to know that I can see your identity on Twitter. Otherwise, I would think that you are a fucking peasant.
Awful photos of rubbish art done by an algorithm and selling it between them for hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes selling it to themselves just to inflate the price, because this new economy is almost completely unregulated, where there is no laws
So,
or nothing.
Earlier in the video, Cav read something about how there is an interest. Like somebody wrote that in an article. Like somebody wrote that in an article that's how they are drawing, or they're motivated, those who are participating in NFTs. Like they're motivated by like this need, this drive, this desire to feel like their lives matter and that they are special. Like that like speaks to like the psychological impact of the way that social media plays a huge role in how we value ourselves, and to satiate that need to feel as though we do matter. It's almost like it's all a replacement for, dare I say, being loved. I don't know. I don't know about that. The being recognized as special. I think the impulse to be loved is far more pure than what we're seeing here. Yeah, I think the being special speaks more to like wanting to be famous, or to feel relevant or have clout. But it would be sad if it's like misplaced. If it's like, if that tendency to think that it's feeling the need to be special when it's really love, or it's really just wanting to be famous, chase clout or whatever. I know I'm special. Don't empathize that much for these people. You are special, Birdie. Y'all. Okay, so like, you know that there is a difference between like trying to be special and like being special, and like seeking to be special on the internet, you know? don't know, maybe it's true that some of these tech bros who were born with silver spoons in their mouth, they only were raised with money, they didn't have a lot of love growing up, and that's kind of sad, actually. That's sad. People do everything for emotional reasons. I don't really. It'd be nice to have a little more recognition for certain things, but sure, but I'm fine. Yeah, I think that's healthy. I think we're, you know, all trying to do something that matters and do something with our hearts. Did you have love with your silver spoon?
Backing up your money, and that is the benefit of like the real world economy. As flawed as it is, there is worth to money, and there's a whole massive global financial system to regulate it. So instead of like cryptocurrency where it changes all the time, and if you use it as legal tender like in El Salvador, buying bread can change drastically in price because of how stupidly unregulated this stuff is. And at the end of the day, it's just for very rich people and grifters like Gary Vee to make a lot of money for him and his friends at the expense of people like you and me who might think like, this seems like a very easy way to make a lot of money. Look at these people. They've bought a cartoon for $250 and they've sold it for $1 million. I could do...
Humanizing the baddies is the only way to really get them to realize what they're doing. I think you're being too charitable. I think that humanizing the baddies will give them an opportunity to master manipulate you into giving them a pass to normalize what they do. I don't know if you can humanize the baddies for the purposes of trying to get them to change. I think that they will take advantage of the situation. They will take advantage of your empathy. They will take advantage of your ability to sit down and give them an opportunity to try to manipulate you into accepting them how you are, and that what should really happen is that you should be more accepting of the abuse that they will provide, because they don't want to change. They don't want to change. I think that it can be, I think that when people find out that they have wronged others, and this is where communication comes in, and it's really important. But depending on really the circumstances, like sometimes I think people do know what they're doing when they're doing it. They're like, I don't care. I'm hurting somebody and I don't care. And I'm doing it in the process. And I know I'm hurting them and I don't care. And then some people are like, oh, in retrospect, upon reflection, I hurt them and I care about their feelings. And sometimes they are made aware that they hurt somebody because that person would be like, hey, you fucking hurt me. And then you get the sadist too. I think that falls under the first category. For sure. Well, sadists get pleasure from it. Yeah, I guess you're right. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to even think that we need to find an approach to, like, get some of the worst people to try to be better. Gotta reach them somehow, I think. Don't care about people's well-being is what people usually mean.
that too. But in reality, nearly everyone who does it loses their money. So that is about it for the cult of NFTs. Thank you, capitalists. Very, very cool. I can't wait to see gaming ruined by NFTs and
I don't believe
cryptocurrency.
that. Honestly, I don't believe. I'm sorry. I don't believe that some people are capable of empathy. I'm sorry. I do not think every single person has the capacity to feel empathy. They feel empathy insofar as they can either benefit from illustrating it, which I don't think is real, and it's not empathy. It's not empathy. It's not real. It's not. Yeah, like you can't fake empathy, and I think some people will try. Empathy as a skill doesn't sound like something you're born with. I think psychopaths do feel empathy. Sociopaths don't. I think that actually psychopaths do have the capacity for empathy. I had poor influences and still am one of the most empathetic of my friends. I think it goes both ways. Honestly, like, depending on your upbringing, a lot of people who grow up with very distant, toxic, cold, or even narcissistic parents, they either up one of two. They end up one of two ways. They end up narcissists themselves, or they end up being incredibly empathetic. Because usually they are dealing with a trauma response that begins in their very early years of life, and then it develops into an entire personality, which is who you become. You become the person you wish your parents were whenever they were raising you. And so that is learned. That is learned. I do believe that. But it has more to do about it becoming like it encapsulates you. It becomes the way that you respond. It becomes the way that you think. It becomes the way that you observe people. It becomes the way that you interact with people. You are constantly looking for cues, but it also can be really difficult to manage because you're more susceptible to paranoia. You're more likely to be hypersensitive. You're more likely to shut down. You might not be able to handle criticism. You might not be able to handle scrutiny. And you will spend so much of your time just people pleasing, trying to clean up messes that you didn't even create, tying up loose ends that you didn't even fuck up. And you got to be really, really careful with how much time you give to people who don't deserve it, because also that kind of sets you up for, maybe becoming an interest to a narcissist in your love life. Narcissists love taking advantage of empathetic people. It's a supply thing. You give them comfort. Comfort is a huge thing for narcissists. You give them energy. You radiate positivity in most cases because you're such a people pleaser. Narcissists love that shit. Because you often act so positive because you put your own needs behind the needs of somebody else. You prioritize somebody else. That, hey, you're good, positive, kind, and looks like you can take a fucking hit. I need a punching bag. You're the perfect candidate. You're the object of my desire. says the narcissist.
See, I can't wait to see more of the best things in life and art being ruined by complete capitalist scams, and anyone who is promoting this stuff either doesn't understand what's wrong with it, or they're just selling out for a quick buck because there's lots of money floating around with many, many rich people involved. And again, it goes back to my point. Anyone thinking cryptocurrency is going to save the human race, as people like Lex Fridman and people like Jack Dorsey genuinely believe for some bizarre reason, only have to look at NFTs and the stupid art that is front and center of the NFT market to show you how this stuff will just make things worse in general and will just really reflect general capitalism, where the people getting rich through this stuff are often the people who were already very rich in the normal economy and have just translated it to here because there are less rules for them. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you want to follow me on social media at The Tabernacle on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to join our communities, check out my Discord and my subreddit. And if you want to support my work, please check out my Patreon. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.